Welcome to episode 2 of the dog training experience. We have just gotten home here in New Orleans with my brand new puppy, Inertia. I'm Zach George. I train dogs, and this is my new dog, Inertia. I'm taking you along as I train her from day one. You can start from the beginning or pick up anywhere and start learning. Welcome to the dog training experience. It's pretty late right now. She does need to go to bed, but she's also been sleeping most of the day. So I've got 2 things to do immediately. I need to get her bedroom set up, and I've got to get her exercise. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Almost immediately, I want to acclimate her to her outside place to go potty, but we'll cover her indoor option in a sec. This is her first time seeing our backyard here. She's going potty. Good job. Yes. Hey, you want to play? You want to play? You know, I can't resist a puppy who wants to play. So let's play then. Boy, nothing like fetch at 10 o'clock at night. Okay, let's go back inside. I'm gonna give you a tour of my plan for tonight. Now, everything doesn't always go according to plan, but I'm hoping this is gonna be okay. I'm actually gonna get in here. I'm hoping this is high enough. If not, I've ordered a higher one because she might be able to jump up and climb. I'm not sure yet. We'll just have to see about that. So I've got a crate here with a divider panel in. I like oversized crates, but the divider panel stops about here. And since it's her first night at this house, I wanna make sure that she has plenty of room where she can come out here and go pee, because remember, I want her to be pad trained in addition to being trained to go potty outside. Sometimes there's bad weather or any other reason that I can't think of where I might want her to have the option to go inside. I'm gonna go ahead and set her down right now. I'm gonna take her off leash. Notice I'm not letting her off leash in the house at all yet. And since she's 8 weeks old, I'm probably gonna put this and a few other chew toys in there. The hope is she'll just crash here. In the middle of the night, she can get up and go on her WizSmart pad, because instinctively, dogs don't like to relieve themselves in their direct sleeping area. These were really helpful at her first night at the hotel last night. WizSmart pads are the best pee and potty pads that I know of. I like that they're shockingly absorbent. That allows them to dry almost instantly, so your dog's not tracking their pee everywhere. You can see how thick they are relative to traditional potty pads. I'm gonna have a link below where you can get these WizSmart pads. Now, I'm not always going to have such a large number of pads out here. Eventually, I'm going to relocate the pads to another part of the house and have maybe 4 down as she starts to get the hang of potty training. I'm gonna give her some food in her crate. Nothing can get a dog comfortable quite like food. All right, it's time to get ready for bed. It is Inertia's first night at my house. You'll recall from my last episode, it ended up with Inertia and me cuddling on the floor in the motel. So I've decided to sleep down here with her just to make sure she's comfortable. So we have a blow-up mattress, and I'm gonna turn it on, but I know it can make a loud sound, and I don't know how she's likely to react to that. So let's see what she does. I'm gonna turn it on kind of quietly here. Right there, you see her react. Yes. So that's good. Being extra sensitive to things that might cause an unpleasant reaction from your dog is recommended. Things like motorized sounds or other sounds can be off-putting to some dogs. Yes! You're doing great. By the way, if you're wondering what kind of treats I'm using a whole combination of different treats just to mix it up, experiment, and see what she likes. Yes, good job. And since everything's going pretty normal here, I'm gonna let it continue to go. Normally I might go a bit slower than this, but I'm really tired. Night 2 with a puppy, who wouldn't be, right? Oh, what is that? She took notice of the fact that this has inflated before her eyes. Okay, it looks like she's over it. Now that my sleeping accommodations are complete, it's time to let our sometimes reactive senior dog, Indy, outside. This will actually be the first time Indy sees Inertia. We're not prepared to introduce them just yet, and we're just gonna have her walk past to go outside. What is that? Indy's like, hey, if you got treats, I'll listen to you. And Inertia was like, well, there's a surprise. You guys will meet later. Update, it's later. I don't know how much later, but I've modified the pen here to be a bit smaller. The reason I modified it is because she was getting a little too active, and I've also increased the number of chew toys for her. So I think she's gonna be content. We'll see. Okay, night 2 went way better than night 1 at the hotel. You can see episode 1 to see how we handled her waking up in the middle of the night. Good morning. You want to go outside? Hello. Overall, Inertia slept really well last night. She whined a little bit, but promptly went back to sleep. I see that she used her pee pads. This is why I want to have pads available, just so when she does have to go, if I'm unconscious, she has a place to go that isn't our normal marble floor. Now I want to take her outside so that she can also experience going outside. Okay, so far so good on potty training. Now it's time to give her a puppy workout. Gonna work on some morning fetch with her. I'm sure that may evolve into her routine. We've done a little bit outside, but it's a little warm. I put Inertia up. We just had a little play session, and I can't believe how well Inertia is doing. It's like she never acts up at all. And she's having a bit of a puppy anxiety attack here. So I'm gonna let this play out for probably a few minutes on my own time. I won't make you guys sit through it, but the reason I'm sharing this with you is to show you how normal this stuff really is. Puppies are going to get anxious when you leave them alone sometimes, but I've gotta make my lunch and I wanna make sure she's in a safe, controlled environment. I find it helpful in situations like this to set a timer because it can be maddening if you're not used to it. It can be very frustrating when your dog is throwing a fit like that. Hey Siri, set a timer for 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, she's probably gonna settle down. That's kind of been her pattern. With your dog, maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it's 20 minutes, maybe it's 2. And notice the different vocalizations too. Some of them are howling, others are more frantic, some of them are more subdued, more relaxed. All these little things, that's what you have to interpret and get to know with your own dog. Usually the louder like that, the more anxiety they're experiencing. Looks like she's starting to settle down a little. Whining has subsided. We have 3 minutes and 16 seconds left now on the 5-minute timer. She'll probably do some more whimpering, then maybe she'll pass out. Puppies like this need to sleep for like 16, 18 hours a day. It's ridiculous. So I don't feel too bad about encouraging her to sleep. She's growing so rapidly. In this case, I don't think it's really necessary to reinforce with food as she calms down. Rather, I just kind of want her to achieve a calm state of mind just naturally. I think a big reason as to why she's behaving like this too is clearly the massive adjustment she's had to go through. She's had relatively free range to live on her farm where she came from with her mom and her siblings, and now she's without all of that. It's gotta be a lot of stress on her. So if your dog stresses out like this, or you're having any other issue with your dog, I'll have a link to both of my books below. So that was a little bit longer than 5 minutes. That was actually about 8 or 9 minutes. That's one of her more significant outbursts, I would say. After she sleeps for an hour or two, I'm gonna work with her some more. I'm gonna do some training with her and exercise to give her that mental and physical stimulation, because if you're not doing the regular training and you're not doing the regular exercise, then it's not reasonable to expect your dog to settle down eventually. You have to meet them halfway. But if you're fair to them, that's why I don't feel guilty when she has that outburst right there, because I know I'm spending a lot of time with her and giving her that exercise. She's got her food, she's been outside to go potty, and you know, all of that. So I've checked all the boxes. Now that Inertia has been asleep for a few minutes, I'm going to keep up her sound desensitization so that she's encouraged to sleep no matter what's going on around her. Part of my strategy is to really keep her desensitized to sounds. I'm gonna make these sounds here, walk past her, and I know what you might be thinking, well, she just got quiet, why would you do that? I'm all about letting sleeping dogs lie, but at the same time, if I can sit here and talk at this normal or loud voice here and she still stays asleep, I'm really desensitizing her to that when she's sleeping, and she learns how to relax under these louder situations. So there she woke up a little bit, but I'm just trying to find what it takes. And at this age, you know, they just go back to sleep so easily. Today is a big day. I want to start preparing her for getting a bath, cutting her nails, and brushing her teeth. But she's wound up after that nap. So I need to get some of that energy out to make the experience as pleasant as possible. She needs to learn fetch, but that's gonna take many, many weeks. Never too soon to start though. You have to really kind of teach your dog the game before you can reliably get their energy out. So I'm gonna get her interested in a new squeaky toy. We have so many different toys. She's really tracking a lot better too. And she's very young, so we're conservative with exercise. It's so fun to watch them discover new things. Look at that curiosity. That curiosity is such a great sign. Look at the play bow. Look at that. Oh, that's awesome. I'm just gonna let this go here because she's moving around. Of course, a puppy's favorite toy is, well, usually human flesh. This play biting is pretty fun right now. I don't mind her biting right now as long as it's not too hard. That shows her how to use her bite pressure. That's all healthy stuff too. I don't want her to be afraid to use her mouth at all, so I'm not trying to discourage all biting. I'm just trying to discourage hard biting or biting without permission. Whoa, oh my gosh, look at you. Oh, you won, you're so strong. She's been exercised and mentally stimulated. Now she should be more receptive to learning about this strange concept of getting a bath. I don't want to wait until it's time to give her a bath to then just get her comfortable with it. So I'm gonna try and get her comfortable with, you know, one step at a time. Good job, that was awesome. Do you see what I did there? I just turned on the water. See how she's not taking treats? She's really nervous right now for some reason. So we'll make it a little bit easier for her. Rather than just giving her a bath, just get her used to a wet washcloth. I don't think she wants to be in the sink, so I'm gonna put her here on the counter. We're gonna go real slow. Click her and reward her. I'm gonna see if I can get away with having the water on a little bit in the background, just to get her used to that. It's okay, good job. Yes. You're doing really well. I'm gonna touch her face a little there. She's being very tolerant. She's licking it. See how she's a little less nervous now? A little less. I mean, I think if I were to put her in there and just try to bathe her, she would probably get a little nervous and freak out, and that would set me back a long time. This is how you build trust with a dog. Get this more wet. Oh, I love that she showed some initiative right there and walked towards the water. I'm gonna touch her paws. She's doing great with having her paws touched. I've been doing that a lot lately. You'll find if you just go real slow with this kind of stuff, they usually are far more likely to do a lot better. I'm gonna touch the inside of her ears here. Just start desensitizing her to that. She reacted a little, but that's all pretty healthy. And so that was her first little sponge bath, a very light version of a bath, obviously. But these are the kind of things I'll be doing this stuff a lot with her just to get her more and more comfortable with it. The more often it happens and the more gradually you ease your dog into this stuff, the smoother raising them is gonna go. You did so well, that was good. All done. What? Oh, I like the wave. That was cute. That was cute. She just offered her paw. I've got to click that. When your dog does something you like on their own, let them know you like it. Bath training, check. Now let's begin getting her ready for nail trimming in the future. Nail clipping is another thing that dogs need to get used to. Right now she's feeling a little bitey, so this probably isn't the best time for a nail trimming for her. I'll probably save it for when she's a little more fatigued from exercise, but this is still good. I can at least touch her with it and get her used to the motion without clipping. I'm gonna come around her nail, just put some pressure on it. This is just desensitizing, pure desensitizing here. That's a nice new feeling for her, and she's adjusting really well. I'm gonna give you a treat. Yes. And I'm not using the clicker here only because my hands are a bit full, and that's okay. Clicker training is great when you can use it. If you can't, that's okay too. It's not required. We're certainly gonna do more nail trimming in the future, but it's time to prepare her for toothbrushing. I wanna be able to touch every bit of the inside of her mouth there with her reacting calmly and cooperatively. I'm not restraining her, she's not running away, and I'm able to really stick my whole finger all over the place in there. Get your dog used to having their teeth brushed with just a finger before you even start anything else. Don't push them to where they start getting frustrated either. Stop while they're doing well. Okay, let me give her a break, and then I'll introduce a toothbrush to her. You might notice I've got a finger brush on my finger here. This is for puppies to brush their teeth. If you've ever tried to brush a dog's teeth who isn't prepared for it, you'll know how tough that can be. So we're going to get her used to it from a young age. At least we're gonna try, and we're gonna see how she's doing. I'm gonna put her on my lap here. Yeah, good job. I'm gonna go ahead and give her a little bit of a tiny piece of meat there, letting her know you're doing great. What was that? Was that a puppy burp? Okay, right there. I'm gonna brush her canine. And when she shows resistance, I'm gonna stop, because I'm not trying to show her how to get her teeth brushed in this training session. I'm just trying to ease her into it over the next days to weeks. Nice job. Okay, that's good. And so I'm just gonna leave it there. The important thing to understand, don't wait until it's time to get your dog to do something to also train them. One of the mistakes that we make if we're new to training dogs is you take the mindset, oh, it's time to give them a bath. Well, let's go see how it goes. Or it's time to clip their nails. They need it done. I've got to do it right now. And you don't have the luxury of time. So if you want to give yourself options, it's important to give yourself time to prepare them. You can see our dining room has been completely taken over for the Inertia project right now. It's important to have your dog's currency available everywhere throughout the house. Small Tupperware containers like this with your treats in them, but you should have some on the end table in your living room, in your family room, in your kitchen, and so on, so that you have quick, easy access to them. Number one, so that you can reinforce when your dog is doing something that you really like by giving them a treat. Number two, having treats frequently available to you so that you can consistently redirect your dog when they're biting on your shoelaces or gnawing on the table. Even when you do have them on leash, they still might have access to a few things. We have a tendency to want to kind of scold our dogs and yell at our dogs when they're doing things that we don't like, but it's really important to understand they're just doing what comes natural, and you can skip the whole stage of yelling at them and getting frustrated, and instead just focus on really showing them what you'd prefer they do. Right now, I don't want her looking at those potty pads. It looks like she might be thinking about chewing them. I'm gonna try to be one step ahead of her. Hey, what's this? Yes, good job. It's pretty easy to be one step ahead of a puppy. I mean, there's something there that's tempting. She's obviously teething, and I was able to get her attention off of that. Never trust a puppy, that's what I always say. Basically, she's either in training, or she's in her pen, in her exercise area over here, or she's tied to me like that with a leash, so that I'm able to keep track of her at all times. I hope you guys are loving the new series. Tell me what you need help with. Subscribe and hit that bell notification. If you want to go the extra mile, follow me on Instagram to see Inertia in real real time and join our live shows and stories. I'll be covering more potty training in the future. In the meantime, get your Wiz Smart pads. I'll have a link below. In the next episode, we're going to cover the fear period, getting your dog used to the vacuum, lure training, potty training, socializing with other people, and more. If you want to support this series, you can make a monthly contribution to our Patreon campaign. We'll see you guys in the next episode of the Dog Training Experience.